Whoa. One Piece chapter 1085. Man, this man cooking. This man Oda is cooking right now, man. Like, just when I thought, like, I'm going to read one more chapter. I'm going to call it a day for today. You know, I'll let some more chapters build up, and then I do another binge. Whoa. That's all I got to say. Man, talk about the plot twists that come with this. So, Vivi has the D in her name as well. Wow. This is good. So, backing things up. So, Cobra opens up the chapter. He's like, oh my God, no one's meant to sit on that throne. What's going on here? It's not meant for one person to sway the entire world and sit on that throne. And so, Emo's like, look, there are things that I would wish to say to you. I know you got questions. And Cobra's like, who are you? I already know that name. Emu. It's got to be a coincidence because among the first 20, Emu's like, I'm not answering that. It's like, oh, wow, hold on. So this might be somebody from back in that era. How old is Emu? That's the big thing. Now, the next thing is that Emu says that I can tell you everything you wish to know, but here's the thing. Those who have the D in their name, they're the ones who opposed us. The ones who bubble up in this world now that have the D in their name, they're nothing but empty husks that are meaning to their name. However, these recent developments, they also have roots that go all the way back to your ancestor and the mistake that she made 800 years ago. And it's okay, so I'm seeing what Oda's doing here. The rebellion, etc. Nefertiti Lili, or Nefertari D Lili, is one of those things where she made a big mistake. And the big mistake she made was probably a morally right one, because when you look at how she was drawn, she looks like Vivi. Vivi is a very honest woman who will make the right decision, even if it's probably not the best decision in terms of what's best for her, thinking of the bigger picture. So I do like that that parallel is there. And so one of the things we see is that Emu continues talking, saying that the curiosity of the scholars who are rummaging through the void period, through that century, that also goes back to it. The Poneglyphs being spread off all across the Grand Line and across the sea, that wouldn't have happened if she didn't do what she did. It's an unfortunate event of the past. Was this a mistake or was this something planned? And Emu says that the answer to that question is probably in that letter that we can find over in Alabasta. Let me know about the truth. What was in that letter? Tell me the name of the sender. And as soon as Cobra hears this, like Cobra knows, he's closed his eyes. His eyes are shaded out. He's like, okay, I ain't leaving this room alive. And Cobra tries to press his luck a little bit. And I guess press his luck is probably the wrong term. It's more so that Cobra is just trying to see how deep of shit that he's in right now. Because he's like, so if I lie to you, would I escape from here? And the elders tell him, like, the moment that you saw Emu, your fate was sealed. There is no getting out of this for you. You are going to die one way or the other. It doesn't matter how quickly do you want to die. And so Cobra, he takes a breath and he says that he knew that he was committing the greatest taboo in the world. And as this is going on, you got Sabo hiding around the corner. Sabo's heard everything. And we have a moment where Cobra says her name was Nefertiti D Lili. And the moment that Emu hears that, the attack starts, but Sabo is the one who immediately gets straight into the action. Sabo's like, yo, ain't nobody dying here. Emu looks absolutely pissed off at this point. And Sabo says that, like, I just came here to take down all of them. I didn't think that there was going to be a diabolical truth about the world itself and the foundings of this level right here. And when Cobra starts saying, like, oh, okay, so you're Luffy's brother, and he tells him, like, hey, like, I didn't know Luffy's brother was a revolutionary. However, at the same time, though, why would you save me? And Sabo's like, look, I'm coming after guys over you. I have no beef with you, but the fact my brother saved you, that kind of sounds in character for Luffy. And we have a moment where Luffy's brother Sabo picks up Cobra, and they start running. And Cobra tells him, I need you to get a message to Luffy and I need you to get a message to Vivi. Let them both know that they also bear the D. And he says he sees a way forward for Alabasta. And we get a flashback with Sabo and with Ace and with Luffy, and Sabo's like, oh, okay, both of you guys got D in your name. Like, that's interesting. How'd that happen? That must be some kind of a fluke. And Luffy's like, hey, do you want the D in your name as well? And it's like, you can see it from a child's perspective where they don't know. And it goes back to what Emo said. Like, they are ignorant to what that letter in their name means. However, at the same time, it makes sense now. Every single time somebody has had that letter in their name, it's always been a big deal. Nico Robin's always been fascinated with the people who have the letter D in their name. You know, like, hey, Law, show me the will of your D. Like, it's one of those things where you see the connective tissue starting to come. They are chaos disruptors. In this new generation, they are moving forward with it. And I like how Oda has a moment where, as Cobra is starting to explain things, he puts the growl text over what we have. So we can't really see everything. It looks like it says it must be connected or corrected. And the other part of what is actually blacked out by the rest of the text looks like it says, bear the flag of the dawn against thee, and it's something world. Nefertari D. Lili. Like, we're seeing that Sabo is basically being told what was in that letter, to pass it on to Luffy and to pass it on to Vivi. And the whole time that we see that Cobra getting snuffed out, Wapol's watching, and Wapol's like, oh my God, the fact that I know this means that I'm going to be dead too. And we see how the rest of the royalty, they're like, oh, okay, Cobra's late, Wapol's late, you know, hey, like, let's just continue business as usual. They're completely ignorant to the truth. Shirahoshi, she's now being protected, and she's like, hey, like, I at least want to go say goodbye to Vivi before we get out of here. And what we end up seeing is that Vivi has been held hostage, that CP0 has her. And we see Khalifa, and I thought that was kind of interesting because I was like, wait a second, like, where was Khalifa when we saw Kaku and we saw Rob Lucci? I was like, I don't see Khalifa, and I was like, maybe they left her behind. And so I like that we did see the character. That was a nice kind of throwback there. And we just find out, like, I mean, they got no heart, man. They're like, hey, like, you're just going to get marked down as missing. You're going to end up as somebody's pet. And it's like, oh my God, this is it. She's gone. And essentially, when Vivi hears that, she's like, over my dead body. And that's one of the things I like about Vivi. Like, at the end of the day, she's got such a strong spirit that you can't really break it. She's had moments where she came close to breaking, but she never fully broke. And so I like that you see that. And I also like that, you know, they start talking about the fact that the people that took out the Celestial Dragon, they're followers of Luffy. And so you can see how with Vivi, that urge and that connection with Luffy is still there. And when Wapol shows up and Wapol ends up running for his life through the room and he's basically running full steam ahead, he just happens to snatch up Vivi, which ends up saving her. And Wapol's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. And when Vivi says, like, hey, you can take me with you, you know, one of the people that's watching is like, oh my God, they're eloping. It's like, this is one of those things where Wapol, by saving Vivi, he probably is going to end up getting that paid back to him tenfold later on. But overall, this was a damn good chapter. This was a damn good chapter. I cannot wait to see the next one, man.